Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Upsc Cse Insights with Subhash.
Today we are going to discuss about 5th chapter of Geography class 7th textbook, that is water. Water is very essential for all the human beings living on the earth. So now the sun's heat causes evaporation of water into water vapor. When the water vapor cools down, it condenses and forms the clouds. From there, it may fall on the earth or sea in the form of rain, flow, or sleet. By the sun's heat, evaporation of the water causes into vapor, and the water vapor cools down and it condenses, forms in the forms of clouds. From there, it may fall on the land or sea or something in the form of rain, snow, and sleet. The process by which water continuously changes its form and circulates between oceans, atmosphere, and land is known as water cycle. So, here we can observe the water cycle. First, the water evaporates and then stores in the cloud and condenses and forms precipitation and falls on the land, seas, etc. as rain, snow, and sleet. Our earth is like a terrarium. The same water that existed centuries ago still exists today. For example, seas, oceans, etc. The water used to irrigate a field in Haryana may have flowed down the Amazon River 100 years ago. This is the example. The major sources of fresh water are rivers, ponds, springs, glaciers, etc. The ocean bodies and the seas contains salty water. So, the water which is in the rivers, ponds, springs and glaciers are fresh water, and the water which contains in seas are salty water. The water of oceans is salty or saline as it contains large amount of dissolved salts. Because of these dissolved salts, the water contains in the oceans, seas, etc. are very salty or saline. Most of the salt is sodium chloride or the common table salt that we eat. While coming to the distribution of water bodies, we all know that 3/4 of Earth's surface is covered by the water. If there is more water than land on this earth, why do so many countries face water scarcity? If you know this answer, comment below. Is all the water on earth available to us? The following table gives the distribution of water in percentage. See, here oceans contains 97.3 saline water, ice caps 2.0, groundwater 0.68, freshwater lakes 0.009, inland seas and salt lakes 0.009, atmosphere 0.0019, rivers 0.001. These ice caps, groundwater, freshwater lakes, salt lakes, atmosphere contains fresh water, and the total 1000. Here we are going to see about the do you know. Salinity is the amount of salt in grams present in 1000 grams of water. The average salinity of oceans is 35 parts per 1000. And next one, Dead Sea in Israel has salinity of 340 grams per liter of water. Swimmers can float in it because the increased salt content makes it dense. So here, the Dead Sea in Israel contains the salinity of 340 grams per liter of water. There, swimmers can float in it because the salt content is increased, then it makes it more dense. Water is absolutely essential for survival. Water alone can quench your thirst when we are thirsty. Now, don't you think we are wasting a precious resource when we use water carefully? And here are some articles which came on the scarcity of water and rivers. Ocean circulation. There is something magical about walking barefoot on the seashore. The wet sand on the beach, the cool breeze, the seabirds, the smell of the salt in the air and music of the waves. Everything is so fascinating. Unlike the calm water of ponds and lakes, ocean water keeps moving continuously. It is never still. The movements that occur in oceans can be broadly categorized as waves, tides, and currents. Unlike ponds and lakes, ocean water keeps moving continuously. These ponds and lakes water is very calm and they do not move continuously. Whether while coming to the ocean water, they keeps moving continuously. It is never still. So these movements that occurs in oceans can be broadly categorized as waves, tides, and currents. First of all, waves. When we are playing throw ball on the beach and ball falls into the water, what happens? It is fun to watch how the ball gets washed back to the shore. When the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls alternately, they are called waves. Here we can see the picture of the waves, and we also experienced it, right? During a storm, winds blowing at very high speed form huge waves. These may cause tremendous destruction. An earthquake, a volcanic eruption, or underwater landslides can shift a large amount of ocean water. As a result, a huge tidal wave called tsunami. It may be high of 15 meters is formed. The largest tsunami ever measured was 150 meters high. These waves travel at a speed of more than 700 kilometers per hour. The tsunami of 2004 caused widespread damage in the coastal areas of India. The Indira Point in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands got submerged after the tsunami. Here is the case study of tsunami, the Earth's pandemonium. While coming to the tides, the rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day is called as tide. Tide is nothing but it is a rhythmic rise and fall of an ocean water twice in a day is called a tide. It is high tide when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level. It is low tide when water falls to its lowest level and recedes from the shore. Tide is nothing but it is a rhythmic rise and fall of ocean. In a day, two times in a day, that is high tide and low tide. High tide is nothing but when the water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level, and low tide is nothing but water falls to its lowest level and recedes from the shore. The strongest gravitational pull exerted by the sun and the moon on the earth's surface causes the tides. So here the gravitational pull which exerted by the sun and moon on the earth's surface causes the tides. Here we can see the neap tide and spring tide. The water of the earth closer to the moon gets pulled under the influence of the moon's gravitational force and causes high tide. So, the water which contains on the earth closer to the moon gets pulled under the influence of the moon's gravitational force. Due to moon's gravitational force, the earth on the water gets pulled under the influence of gravitational force. So, it causes high tide. During the full moon and new moon days, the sun, the moon and the earth are in same line. Here we can see the three are in same line and the tides are highest. These tides are called spring tides. But when the moon is in its first and last quarter, the ocean waters get drawn in a diagonally opposite directions by the gravitational pulls of sun and moon, resulting in tides. So when moon is in the first and last quarter, the ocean water gets drawn in diagonally opposite directions. See here, opposite directions by the gravitational pull of sun and moon. So it results in low tides. These tides are called neap tides. Here we can see the neap tides. High tides help in navigation. They raise the water level close to the shores. This helps the ships to arrive at the harbor more easily. The high tides also help in fishing. More many more fishes came closer to the shore during the high tide. This enables the fishermen to get a plentiful catch. So these high tides can help the ships to arrive at the harbor, and they also help fishermen to catch the fish more and more. Many more fishes came closer at the shore during the high tide. So this enables the fishermen to get a plentiful catch. The rise and fall of water due to tides is being used to generate electricity in some places. So these rise and fall of water due to tides is being used to generate electricity in some places. Now ocean currents. Ocean currents are the streams of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in definite directions. It is nothing but they are streams of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in a particular directions. The ocean currents may be warm or cold. Generally, the warm ocean currents originate near the equator and move towards the poles. So, generally, the warm water in the ocean currents originate near the equator and they move towards the poles. And cold currents carry water from the polar or higher altitudes to tropical or lower latitudes. So, cold currents carry the water from the polar or higher altitudes to tropical or lower latitudes. That's about the cold currents and hot currents. The Labrador Ocean current is cold current while the Gulf Stream is a warm current. These are the examples of cold and warm currents. Labrador Ocean current is cold current and Gulf Stream is warm current. Seas around Japan and eastern coast of Northern America are such examples of these ocean currents. The areas where warm and cold current meets also experience foggy weather, making it difficult for navigate. So where the areas which they experience the warm and cold currents, they also experience foggy weather, which makes it difficult for the navigation to fishermen. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you understand this chapter. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.